love a little bonus pod, Rube.
Gotta love a bonus pod.
The last time I spoke to you, we were in this room. I feel like it was either 5 minutes ago or 3 days ago. Kind of a blur coming
About
back.
24 hours ago. Yeah.
It was just about, coming back on that red eye. Hadn't slept yet. So we wanted to and that was an abbreviated pod. So we appreciate everyone and their patience. This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan, Reuben Frank, and Dave Zangaro. But we had some time, got some sleep. And we want to talk a little bit more about that game, this Eagles team, and where they go from here.
I would just like to, before we start, commend you on even getting here on Tuesday morning. Your flight was delayed numerous times out of LAX. You didn't have time you had time to do a podcast from the airport, which was the original plan, but it's not like they delayed the flight an hour and a half. They delayed it 10 minutes, like 9 times.
Yeah, if they would just done it at once, we would have done the pod from the airport like we planned. The overtime screwed me.
Overtime was not helpful. So then you land in Philly at 8:30, and somehow we're in the office by 5 after 9. I think you ran in here. Yeah. We did a mini pod, so we at least had something. But kudos to you for even getting here, because I don't know how you did it. I actually watched your plane land out the window. Which there's an app you can tell like where the plane. Oh, it's over the Navy Yard. Oh yeah, there's this plane.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I should have live streamed it or something.
Well, we wanted to actually have a real pod and talk a little bit about that game and some of the issues the Eagles are facing going forward. 3 losses in a row. It's not good right now. The vibes are bad in the city, and I get that because this is a team with really high expectations, and that was a winnable game. And
they've all been
winnable games. This is a team that's too good to be playing down to the level they are. And really, like the Bears game, the defense didn't play well, but for the most part, the defense has played really well. I thought they played really well on Monday night. This comes down to whether or not the offense can eventually be average. If this offense can be average, this team can win a lot of games, but I don't know if you can have a ton of confidence they're going to get there.
Yeah, and I keep going back to their talent is above average, well above average, I would even say.
And that's even allowing that maybe we overrated the talent.
True. But they just need to score like 23, 24 points a game, and they're going to win a lot of games and have a chance to have some sort of postseason run. I just don't know if they can do it. They just don't score points. And there's been times where they've moved the ball, and I think that gives you some confidence that maybe they can turn it around. Jalen's not going to turn the ball over 5 times very often, you would hope.
You would hope not,
Jalen has a body of work in his career that gives you confidence he can snap out of this. It doesn't mean he will, but he's had so many really good games in his career. And, so it's there. I think there's clearly look, he's had so many play callers. It's obviously the Jalen Kevin Patullo thing. And it's everybody's fault, but it's just not working. It's just not going well. You can read between the lines of some of his comments about sequencing of plays and I'm just running what I'm being told to run. You can tell that he's not totally happy. And obviously Kevin Patullo has not been calling plays at an elite level. So when your quarterback and your play caller are not on the proverbial same page, it's tough to have a functional offense. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, and I think it would be dangerous to look at that Monday Night Football game and say, well, they barely lost and Jalen turned the ball over 5 times. If he doesn't, then I think that's a dangerous game to play. And I generally agree with the sentiment. Like, he's not going to turn the ball over that much in every game, but it wasn't like the offense was fixed either. They did some better things. I think they're starting to figure it out in the run game, but let's face it, their only touchdown was it was a great play. But it wasn't something that you can build off of. It was
hang your hat on a fake.
Great play. They deserve all the credit in the world for that. I thought it was a great wrinkle, and it worked. Saquon looked explosive running the ball once he got it in his hand. So that made you feel good. But that was their only touchdown.
Yeah, 7 drives inside the 40 without scoring a touchdown. Let me just say one thing about Saquon. I've said all along I don't think he was the problem, and I think this game kind of, he was averaging 3.3.
You started to As the season went on, you were starting to wonder
I
if
was starting to wonder,
okay.
but I'd seen enough positives, and the last 7 games he's averaging 4.7 yards a carry, and a lot of that is in a couple big games and a couple big runs that have. But that's how you get a high average, is by big runs, and I mean, I think that you have that to hang your hat on now. That I think you can feel pretty good about the running game, but then you only run it 5 times in the second half of a close game on the road. I don't really get that. I think they're still coaching as if Saquon's still averaging 3 yards a carry, not 4. I think they've got to kind of marry the passing game to the running game, and maybe they'll be onto something. It's not all about can we throw the ball or can we run the ball. It's can we run the offense, blend these things together, have some balance, keep defenses off balance, and be effective. And we just haven't seen that.
Yeah, there's obviously a lack of cohesion with the offense right now, and I think that's it's so disjointed that's the part I struggle with finding optimism.
Yeah,
because it's just broken right now, and they you're right. Like there are moments where you see something, you go, oh, that was pretty good. Even in overtime, like Jalen passing the ball in overtime, which is why the interception stunk and it was a bad way to lose a game. And if you don't want them throwing the ball in 1st and 10, I get that. But he was looking good in overtime to the point where you're thinking, and I had to find a chance to finally rewatch that because I didn't really get that chance right after the game. But he was throwing the ball really well. That pass to Devontae Smith might have been one of his best passes all year.
yeah.
So like he was starting to cook, and then the interception was not great. And I thought it was an excellent play by the defensive back, but
I think he finally felt like he was in a rhythm.
yeah.
And when he feels like he's in a rhythm, he'll make that throw. And it was just not a great read. But yeah, I mean the throw to AJ. I mean he was. I felt like they were going to win the game in overtime because you finally had Jalen going.
Mm-hmm.
The running game was going. Jalen had that 17-yard run that got called back. You're feeling like they're really moving the ball. I thought that the Chargers defense was gassed a little bit.
Yeah, he let it rip on that 3rd and long.
They did. Yeah. So, but same old story. Good things, but not enough.
Yeah, and look, so there's 2 sides to this. One is that the offense has looked disjointed for most of the year, and it's now week 15. You'd be crazy to think it's going to turn around. But if you're a little bit of an optimist, I think there were things you look at in that game and think, oh, there's something to build on. Where are you? Are you on more one side or the other there?
I think the pieces are there to make it work. I just don't know if this coaching staff, and certainly not absolving Nick. I think it's Nick and Kevin can put it together to the point where they're scoring 30 points a game, where they should be. They should be a 30 points per game offense. But
you'd take 20.
You take 20. And they're averaging 16.2 over the last 5 games. They're worse since 2012, which was, Andy's last year. It was a nightmare. Who was their quarterback in 2012? I guess it was it Vic?
Mm-hmm.
But it was post good Vic. That's not what you want to be compared with. That was the last place team. That was a 3-13 team. My confidence is not high. My confidence is high that the pieces are there and that it's fixable. My confidence is not high that they're going to fix it, and that's a damning statement.
Yeah, and that's coaching.
It's coaching.
I mean, it's just coaching, and it's not Kevin Patullo. It's coaching in general.
Yep.
I think it's notable that this week Nick Sirianni confirmed the ESPN report that he was more involved in the offense. Didn't help.
Didn't help.
I mean, that's the problem. Like they don't have the answers right now, and for
maybe that's a bad thing if he was more involved. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think. And I mean, why hasn't he been involved for the first 12 games?
Well,
all of a sudden Nick's going to come to the rescue.
Well, if we follow the way it's gone, like he was very clearly involved early in his time, and then last year took a step back because they had a veteran offensive coordinator. It makes you wonder why they would give similar trust to a guy who had never done the job.
Yeah.
If that's the case, if they just said, let Kevin handle it, that's weird to me. because Kellen Moore, he was a guy who had been an offensive coordinator for a long time, had been a hot head coaching name for a long time. So it was understandable, and he came from a different school of thought. So like it was understandable to turn the keys over to him. Now I'm not saying they did to the exact same level with Patullo, but I don't know. It's a little curious that Nick wouldn't have been more involved from the get-go.
Yeah, I think the thing that impressed me about Kellen Moore was that you saw growth. Like it was not a good offense early in the year. You remember? I mean, we had concerns about the offense. We felt like they were underachieving last year, but they just kind of kept building and kept growing and getting better. And by the postseason, they were pretty much unstoppable as a group. We haven't seen any growth this year. If anything, the first 4 games of the year, they were okay. They were scoring 24 points a game. Since then they're at like 18. So that's really worrisome that you just haven't seen growth. You haven't seen, if we could see some signs that they're figuring it out, that they have answers that they're getting to. We just haven't seen that.
Yeah, there's regression. Absolutely. Like they scored 33 and 31 in back-to-back games against the Rams and Bucks. Could you imagine this team scoring 30 points in back-to-back games right now?
No, maybe back-to-back months.
Yeah, that part is troubling because like we keep trying to find the answers, and that's part of our job, right? Is like we talk about the team, and not that they're going to listen to us, not that we have the answers, but you're trying to find answers. You're trying to find out like how can they get from point A to point B? How can they get better? And I don't know if it's there, and that's like a scary place to be if you're a fan because you want to have hope. This is a team that the Eagles keep saying it themselves, like everything's still right in front of them, and it's true. Like they're still, they're still in the lead in the division. They have a chance to get in the playoffs and make a run. Like it's all right there, but I don't know. Like, is there a lot of faith around the city right now that they're going to get it done?
No. And the last thing you want is for them to, backdoor their way into the playoffs and have a repeat of the Tampa game in 23 where they're just non-competitive. And they're going to face a pretty good team in the wild card round.
Yeah, I mean, it looks more and more likely that they're going to end up in that 3 seed if they win the division.
Right. And they're not the third best team in the NFC right now, but that's just the way the division is. But do you have faith in them going? And I mean, even if they're home beating a good team, I just don't.
No. And look,
and if they do, it's going to have to be the defense just being lights out and winning a 19-16 game.
And that's what I want to get to, because that's kind of my prevailing thought from that game. And you and I talked about it a little bit before the pod. I want to share this, that, after the game, we were talking to Jalix Hunt, who had the best game of his young career, arguably. He had 2.5 sacks, was a force. And he was asked, like, can you at least enjoy your own performance? And he was like, yeah, not really, because we lost the game. And the more I sit there and think about it, I'm like, how sad is that? This poor guy, second-year player who everyone thought was a project, is now playing a ton, playing at a really high level, has this great game. He's been on a tear recently. I mean, his last 5 or 6 games, he's been pretty unbelievable.
Playing really well.
Sacks, a couple of interceptions, a pick 6. He's not able to celebrate his success because the offense stinks so bad. And I understand
his parents, my mom and dad will enjoy it. I can't.
That's sad to me.
Yeah.
And it's sad that the defense doesn't get celebrated. We should have been on that 15-minute pod in my delirious state talking about, man, that defense won them a game.
Yeah.
They deserve all the flowers, and they don't get them because everyone's so fixated, rightfully so, on how bad the offense is. And that's a shame. It's a shame that they keep wasting these great defensive performances. 13 possessions the Chargers had. They scored a touchdown on the first one, and the Eagles shut them down the rest of the way. 5 field goals.
5 field goals that came after drives that averaged under 30 yards. So, I mean, some of those field goals came after -1 yard drives. So that's not on the defense. The points are, but the defense it was really one play. I mean, they hit one play and a couple runs by the quarterback, and that was it.
Yeah. Their offense in the second half was pray for Justin Herbert to not get hurt as he runs around and tries to make something happen.
And the one play that hurt him in overtime, that really hurt him, was that 18-yard run by Hampton.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to find me criticizing them too much for that.
No, and they still forced a 54-yard field goal. How good is Cameron Dicker, by the way?
Very good.
Might be the best kicker ever. He's the most accurate, and the knock on him was that he wasn't really a long-distance guy. He was just a really accurate, 50 and under. And I think he's 99 out of 101 under 50,
Jeez.
which is insane. but he's now hitting those long ones. He's something else. Won a game against the Cards for the Eagles in 2022. It also, and I know it's not number one on your list, but it does the contrast between him and his former teammate it's a little scary. Jake Elliott is not. I mean, you can't miss a 48-yarder indoors, perfect conditions. Game goes overtime. You do the math, as Big Red once famously said. I think after the
How much did he regret that?
2008 NFC Championship game, I think it was. Yeah.
How much did he regret that soundbite?
He did. He did regret it, but it was very out of character for him. He never said anything like that. But yeah.
You speak in front of a microphone long enough, you're going to say
Akers had a bad game. I think he had a kickoff out of bounds. I think he missed an extra point. Yeah. So they should have won that game 17 years ago. How was that possible? And it was DPI and Rod Hood also, and Kevin Curtis. I remember that game more than the Monday night.
I was about to say, you want to just talk about that game in 08?
Yeah, Tim Hightower, that fourth and 3. If the Eagles stop
you weren't joking. You really do remember that game.
If they stop Tim Hightower on 4th and 3, they go to the Super Bowl. And they didn't. But anyway, enough of that. Yeah. A couple of things on defense I don't think we got to yesterday. Marcus Epps had not played. I think he played 7 defensive snaps all year. Then he goes on IR. And usually when a guy goes on IR, they come off, they take it slowly with him. You know, they have a week to kind of acclimate and practice. They had no choice but to play him, and he played lights out. And, you know, Sidney Brown was not good. He had to play last week because Epps wasn't eligible yet after Makuba got hurt. But Epps, for a guy who hadn't played all year, I mean, he was solid in the first Super Bowl year, 23. Well, the previous Super Bowl year. You got to really be careful with this team in Super Bowls. But yeah, I don't think we'll see much of Sidney Brown anymore. And Epps and when you have a Dory Jackson playing at that level, which he's not always going to do, which is the thing that drives you
I don't
crazy.
know. I think they should keep trying to find other cornerbacks that they talk about bringing in.
Motivate
it seems
him.
like every time that happens, he plays incredible.
Yeah, Howie's going to text one of us, hey, just say we're looking at, bringing James Bradbury back. It'll get a door. You're going to have to do it every week, I think they're going to activate Eli Ricks.
You see during the game, Slay tweeted about how well Adoree Jackson's playing.
No.
Yeah, I love that. It's like the guy that they tried to bring in to replace Adoree Jackson is praising Adoree Jackson for how well he played.
Well, yeah, good for him. It was his first interception in 2 years, but not just that. I mean,
that was like a whatever play. The pass breakups were great.
Yeah, he was really sticky. Gave up one pass, and I was, when you already have Cooper playing just lights out.
That one rep down the field was unreal.
On Ladd McConkey?
I don't know if that one was it Ladd down the field where he got turned and then stayed with it and batted, turned his body, stayed with it and batted the ball down.
Yeah. He was magnificent.
He had Ladd McConkey just locked up all game.
Yeah. And he's been putting up big numbers.
He's a good receiver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quinn Johnston did nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Quinyon Mitchell, sometimes you forget he's out there.
It's true.
He's just erasing somebody and they're not throwing the ball over there.
I did a stats piece for today, and I wrote about the secondary, or I should say the pass defense, because that's more than secondary. It's everybody. Mm-hmm. They're only allowing quarterbacks to complete 55% of their passes.
It's crazy.
That's the lowest in the NFL. Now, it's for over a full season, it would be the lowest since 2016. The Broncos were a little bit lower. That's a crazy number. I don't think anyone else is under 57%. I think Houston's at 57%, and that's a great defense. But
Houston and the Eagles are kind of similar.
Yeah, that's true. Houston's really well coached.
D'Amico.
Yeah, it was good seeing D'Amico and Andy. D'Amico played the 1 year for Andy in 2012. Mm-hmm. Does he count as the Andy Reid coaching tree? I guess not.
Probably not.
Yeah. Never coached for him.
I think Matt Burke's going to get some head coaching looks.
Could be.
Was here with the Eagles for a little bit.
Yeah, that did not go well.
No.
But yeah, he's a good coach. He's doing a good job down there.
He's their DC in Houston.
Yeah. He's first team all beard. But anyway, I don't know how we got in Houston. Oh, because the pass defense. But To have to have 7 sacks in a game and hold a quarterback under 50% and lose, that's never happened in Eagles history.
And the pressure rate was unbelievable.
What was it? What did you say? 60?
Over 68%.
That's insane.
Of Herbert's dropbacks, he was pressured. And look, I understand that offensive line is in shambles, and we could even say, Herbert's playing injured, but good teams like take advantage of that stuff, and they were playing mean. Like they were getting after it, and you want to see that. Like the defense right now has the mentality you want. Like they're playing, and you hope they don't get beaten down by this season and lose that.
Yeah. So far they haven't, and
I give them a ton of credit. Like they are put in some really bad situations, and everything I've seen, they have not like started to waver. Like they just kind of look at it like, hey, this is what we have to do. We're going to do it. I think I'd start to get frustrated. Like I think it's human nature to be like, man, look what we're doing. Like pull your weight a little bit, offense.
Yeah, it's only natural, and you just hope that doesn't happen. We haven't seen any signs of it yet. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to know that the team's fate basically resides with you.
Yeah.
That's not a great place to be.
And I think it puts pressure on the defense knowing that man, they have to be great.
Yeah.
And I think they're rising to that pressure for the most part. The Bears game, not good. We know that. Yeah. But I think for the most part, they're rising to that pressure, and they're making sure that they're doing what they need to do. But man, it is just a shame that we're not able to fully appreciate it.
Who would your defensive MVP be right now?
Man. It's telling that I don't know, because and sometimes it's telling you don't know because it's bad, but this is telling because I don't know because everybody's playing really well.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a handful of people you could go. Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis was the first name that popped in my mind.
He might be my guy. He's been so good, so steady, so consistent. I think a little lull, after about a month, he wasn't making splash plays. But then again, that's not the main thing you want from him. But he's making them now. He's got 4.5 sacks for a guy who's never been that kind of player. He's still in great shape. But you could also,
if I were to ask you before the season, will Jordan Davis ever have 4.5 sacks in a season?
I'd say no way.
Yeah, I mean that was realistic to think that would never happen. So he's been great.
You could go Quinyon.
He's shut down some really good receivers.
Yeah,
Hooper's been fantastic.
Yeah,
Zach Bond, the big numbers aren't there. I think he's been really, really solid.
Yeah,
I mean, seeing Nakobe Dean come back, obviously he hasn't played enough to be considered their defensive MVP, but he's playing really well.
First Eagles linebacker with 4 sacks in a 5-game span. Did you look that one up?
I didn't.
William Thomas.
I figured it was either Willie or Michael Kendricks.
Yeah, Kendricks was close. He's the last one he had 4 over a 5-game span over 2 seasons. But okay. I don't count that. So 4 over a 5-week span, 5-game span. So Kendricks is the last to have 4 sacks. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think Kendricks ever had 5. The last to have 5 was probably Willie T. I think D'Amico had 4 one year.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess he hasn't been here. He hasn't been playing long enough to be in the MVP conversation, but he's playing at that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 6 guys who you could make a case for.
I'm glad we're talking about those guys because I don't know. We're going to talk about the offense a bunch, and rightfully so, because I think it's human nature to figure out where is the improvement needed. Let's focus on that. Let's talk about that. But I don't want to overlook the defense because, gosh, they're playing so well.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're fun to watch.
Jalix, you put Jalix in that mix?
Jalix in there. You put Morrow. I mean, he's been really good.
Morrow's been good, yeah.
And I think that the fact that we can't really name a favorite it's a good thing. I mean, because they're getting big time performances from almost everybody on the field.
And to have that game without Jalen Carter, who I think is their most talented defensive player.
Yeah,
that speaks volumes too.
I also think they're sounder without an ailing Jalen Carter. I think the best thing for both him and for the team was to get him that surgery. because I mean,
Not a surgery, just to clarify.
not a surgery.
No,
The procedure.
it was not a surgery.
All right. But whatever it was, he needed it, and they needed it, and they're better with him. I mean, you're better off with an 80% Jalen Carter, but he wasn't 80%. So,
Look, I think he was still playing at a high level, but I'm excited to see how he looks when he gets back. If he's like really good Jalen Carter again, man, that defense is gonna be fun.
they're fun now. And the fact that everybody's contributing and everybody's making plays, that makes, I mean, that's the kind of defense we've seen defenses with, like, you watch the Browns, it's like one guy, he's got 20 sacks and he's incredible.
He's unreal.
And they don't have anybody like that, but they have a lot of guys who are really good right now. And most of them are young. Most of them need contracts. So that's going to be interesting. Like, all these guys keep materializing how he's going to have to figure out, but that's a problem for the spring. Right now, they're carrying this team.
Yeah, and it was fun to see how Vic Fangio just went about it. Like right now, I think that's very stark too. That defense just looks well coached.
Yeah.
They're fundamentally sound. Missing Jalen Carter, no problem. We'll play a little bit of this guy, that guy. We'll move an edge guy in. Like, everything is just functioning at a really high level, like a well-oiled machine. And you look at the other side of the ball, I mean, that is not a well-coached operation.
Yeah, you used the word discipline. I mean, they communicate, they're disciplined, they're in the right place. They don't make stupid mistakes. I mean, once in a while they do, but yeah, you can tell that somebody who's running that defense knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I can't say that about the offense.
You can't.
Can Vic coach offense?
It's not crazy. We've seen it before here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where this team is right now. A tale of two different teams.
Yeah.
Anything else from the game that we didn't mention that has been on your mind?
No, I think we kind of covered it all.
Okay.
Overtime was excruciating. Do you know the last time they lost a game on the final play of overtime?
No.
Who's the idiot who looked that up? It was a game in 1999 against the Giants that Doug Peterson threw a pick six to Michael Strahan, 66-yard pick six to end the game.
Wow. I don't remember that.
Yeah. I think Doug started the next week and got benched and then never played again. He became a coach.
Doug
Peterson actually became a coach. I wonder how many younger Eagles fans don't even realize he was Andy Reid's first opening day quarterback.
I think people know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got talked about quite a bit.
I guess. I love that story I did. That was my favorite story out at Minneapolis on Doug recalling that season and how much he was vilified in the city, hated in the city. Yeah. I mean, people throwing garbage at his family, and next thing you know, he's a superhero. Yeah. He was great talking about it in a hallway in the Mall of America as we walked to the team hotel. I was proud of that one. It got no page views, but I liked it.
That's fine.
Maybe I should just send it out again.
Yeah, after this pod, just send it out randomly. Let's take a break. When we come back, we have a lot of questions, comments, concerns, panicked emails coming from you guys when we come back.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Need some holiday gift inspiration to escape the cold and catch the Phillies in Clearwater with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Philly Sports Trips? We're teaming up to bring fans the most unforgettable Phillies spring training experience yet. This trip includes Phillies game tickets, beachfront accommodations, round-trip travel, all-inclusive tailgates, and more, plus appearances from Larry Boa, Charlie Manuel, NBC Sports Philadelphia's own Ben Davis. Book your trip today at phillysportstrips.com. All right, Rube, we're back here. Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. Email time, eagle@nbcuni.com.
I'm a little scared.
I think it's become a little cathartic for our listeners sending emails out, but we have a bunch today. As always, don't take it personally if we don't get to your email. We have a lot coming in. This one is from Eric. Thought it summarizes a lot of thoughts right now. Hey guys, love the pod. I hate the 2025 Eagles. Thanks for all that you do.
That was it?
That was it.
Okay. Thank you.
Matt from Kentucky. Gents, just watch A.J. Brown miss a catch he would always make. Watch silly penalties and poor plays. I get it. Nick is here and so is Jalen. My proposal is an exorcism. It's obvious that we have a curse. Let's kill a chicken or something like that. Thoughts?
I wonder if Finder can digitally make my head spin around 360 degrees. Kind of do an exorcism that way. We do that, Finder? Probably. Yeah, I'm up for an exorcism.
We're probably going to sacrifice that positivity bunny.
Oh my God. So much for that. Yeah. Hopefully we don't see that thing around anymore.
I kind of hope it's still there. I think it'd be very funny if they just left it up there.
And like the fact that AJ Dillon of all, and I like AJ, he's a good dude, but I mean, come on. He hasn't played in 2 months. The last time we saw him, he fumbled. And you're the one bringing the positivity bunny. I mean, it's just high school stuff.
It was very funny walking in the locker room and just, what the hell's that? All right.
Yeah.
Next one is from Lucas.
Have we ever had an exorcism on the pod? I don't think we have.
I hope not.
I'll have to go back, check the records.
I don't think so. I'm not a big scary movie fan. You ever see? Yeah, I know you haven't. The one scary movie I like is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Kind of a weird one, but it's like it feels like historical. It's fun.
I haven't seen that one.
I like the movie. I'm not a horror movie or scary movie guy. Not really horror. Next one is from Lucas. 5 turnovers.
I did see Tales from the Crypt when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with my friends, and it was horrifying. It was terrifying. And they decided to walk back. So we were in Hackensack, and they decided to walk over the train trestle back to Teaneck. So we're walking along this train trestle, and it's like 20 feet over the water, and there's 2 tracks, and there's like nothing between the ties. Like there's just water. And if a train comes, I guess you could hop over to the other train track. But what if a train came each way? You're going in the drink. And I'm already terrified. And my friend and my friend's older brother, they just insist on going across the train tracks. And then we're like halfway across, and one of them is like, I think I heard a train coming. There wasn't, but then we start like, are you running? Are you walking fast? If you miss one of the train ties, you're probably going in the water.
It's where you wish you had one of those like wooden train whistles. Pull out. Sounds like a train coming. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that would come in handy. But I did make it across, and I lost my friends. I ended up somewhere in Pagoda, New Jersey. I was probably like 12, and I remember just sitting on the curb, just like scared out of my mind. I didn't know where my friends were. I didn't know where my house was. I didn't know what town I was in. Yeah, so that's my scary movie story. I haven't gone to one since.
We've brought up some stuff on this.
I know.
I feel like you should be laying down right now.
Therapeutic here. Yeah.
Let's get back to Lucas here. 5 turnovers. Are we serious? Jalen Hurts simply does not have the capacity to play at a high enough level to be relied on to win games. If he has to throw the ball more than 25-ish times, he completely collapses and falls apart. Trade the entire offense, literally anyone, so that we can get a starting level quarterback. My only hope is that Howie Roseman,
who's won more than one Super Bowl MVP,
not lost his magic and can somehow find a way to move off of all 3, Jalen, Saquon, and AJ this season. There's nothing to be saved from this offense. Even if we make changes this offseason, we still have to pay our defense. Our Super Bowl window is closed. It's time to burn it all down and start over again. This team is a complete joke and deserves nothing but shame on the trip home.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think we've seen Jalen play at a pretty high level. We've seen AJ certainly play at a high level. Saquon's looked better the second half of the season. They need changes, but look, Jalen's not going anywhere. And if people really want Tanner McKee, and I like Tanner, I think Tanner's going to be a good player. You're not going to bench your Super Bowl MVP for a guy that started one game against a bad team, played well. It's not going to happen. So it's certainly not Nick's style. Maybe there's a coach out there who would do that. It's not Nick.
I have another Jalen question, so we can get right to it from Dan. What is Jalen Hurts? Is he a good QB or a bad QB? The Eagles can't really be playing the game of figuring out what he will be year to year. In 2020, albeit a small sample size, he wasn't very good. He put the ball on the ground a lot with the bad Eagles team. 2021, okay, fine. 22, great. 23, bad. 24, great. 25, bad.
He was pretty good for most of 2022. I mean, he was an MVP race, up until the collapse, really up until after this Niners game. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I get it. This isn't totally on Hurts, but he has been bad since the bye. He is missing wide open receivers by massive overthrows or never seeing them. What do the Eagles have at QB with Jalen Hurts?
Well, that's a fair question. I mean, I think you're selling him a little short on his career. But I will say, I think it's really hard, and I'm not defending him. He's been awful for about a month now and was worse than awful on Monday night. But when you're playing for a play caller and a coordinator that you have no connection with, or no, I don't know. I don't even know there's no, I guess connection's the word. And there's just, Kevin Patullo is not good at calling plays. This is an offense I don't think it's an NFL caliber offense scheme. I just think it's hard for any quarterback to flourish in those situations. And I think there's a measure of frustration there. I just don't think this coaching staff can get the most out of Jalen. And I think until they have a play caller that's better than Kevin Patullo, you're not going to see. And look, Jalen's had some really good games this year under Kevin Patullo, despite Kevin Patullo. But to get that player on a consistent basis, there's going to have to be some changes here. So I'm not absolving Jalen because he's the one making those throws. But I do think that it's not a situation, if you don't have confidence in the plays getting called and the play caller doesn't know how to get the most out of you, I just think it's going to be hard to really look good.
I agree. Now, it's also fair to say, hey, paying Jalen Hurts a lot of money, and you'd expect your franchise quarterback to be able to overcome a lot of it.
Yep.
You'd expect him to play well enough to hide some of those deficiencies, and he hasn't done that either. But yeah,
he's done it at times.
Yeah, and look, we have some questions in here about, are they going to bench him? Should they bench him? They're not going to do that. You can talk about it. I think everyone's curious to see what Tanner McKee would look like. It's just not going to happen. They're not there yet, and I don't think there's any conceivable way for them to get there. It would have to be just a complete breakdown to get to that point.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's just not.
And Nick Sirianni, by the way, was on WIP Wednesday morning, I guess, and called that notion ridiculous, the idea of benching Jalen and going with Tanner.
Yeah, and I agree with him. I mean, we've seen Tanner McKee he's played one game, and it was a really good one. And he played well after Pickett left the Dallas game, who we might see Sunday at the Link, Kenny Pickett. But that's not the answer. I mean, and it's not the way Nick would do things. It's just not his style.
Yeah. And yeah, Jalen is not like some whatever quarterback. This is not like going into 2022 Jalen Hurts. He's not some whatever guy who's your starter because you couldn't find what you thought was a better option. He's the guy that has won a Super Bowl for you, that you've paid a lot of money, who you want to be the face of the franchise. There's so much more involved in that. We actually had an interesting question.
And I just want to say, all the people who want him benched were on the parade route celebrating a Super Bowl that Jalen won.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, and I don't think that completely absolves play or but I understand all that. But yeah, he has done a lot of good things too. I want to try to find this email. Gosh, I can't find it now.
Do you want to summarize it?
Here we go.
He found it. Dave found the email.
I can't find it actually, but it was basically hey, why is football so different that, you see in baseball, you can, and I apologize to whoever sent this because I can't find it right now, but in baseball, your starting pitcher comes out, you put in a reliever, and it's not a big deal. Everyone moves on. That doesn't happen in football. Any ideas why you just can't come back from a benching?
It's a completely different thing because I mean, most of the time, the reason a pitcher comes out of a game is you can only throw 90 to 110 pitches. I mean, if you're at a pitch count, nobody anymore. I mean, Juan Marichal, those guys used to throw 140 pitches, I guess, but he's still going to get his start 5 days later. So I guess the equivalent would be pulling him out of the rotation. Not the equivalent of benching a quarterback isn't
removing him
with one out in the eighth for Mariano Rivera, Al Raboski. The equivalent is taking him out of the rotation, which, if a guy is consistently getting shelled, do you do that? I think there's such a higher variance in quarterbacking than in pitching. Like, you don't see, like, if a pitcher's doing really well, he's going to keep doing really well most of the time. So it's a different animal. It's not a, what's the word? I can't remember, like an invalid comparison. What's the phrase? There's a phrase for that. I'll think of it as soon as we're done with the pod, but
my dumb brain was like apples to oranges. That's like the dumbed down version, whatever you were going to say.
Yeah. False equivalence.
Okay.
Yeah. Equivalency.
Like a false equivalency.
Equivalency. Yeah. False equivalency. So it's not like Jalen hasn't had good games this year. He's had some really, really good games. He had a string of them, up through the bye. So if this team's going to accomplish anything, it's going to be with him playing quarterback. It's that simple. So you have to give him every opportunity to find his way out of this. He's got a body of work that's pretty impressive.
Next one from TJ. The stupid positivity rabbit sealed the deal on a reboot of another 2023 season. Fire the rabbit, fire Patullo, suspend Sirianni's cafeteria privileges, and give McKee a chance. I don't think you want a hungry Nick Sirianni. I don't know if that helps.
I think he eats in his office. I don't think he eats in the cafeteria.
You don't think so?
I think he eats in his office. I'm with you on the positivity bunny. And I just hope the positivity bunny doesn't reflect poorly on the positivity corner. I hope people
That's fair. Should we bring idea here? What if during the positivity corner behind me, we just had a 12-foot inflatable rabbit?
No, let's not.
You don't want that?
No, I don't want that.
I don't know if we have the budget for it, but what if one day positivity corner, I'm just gone, rabbit here.
If we see it in the dumpster,
yeah, I'll look around. If it's in the dumpster,
at
the Novacare
we'll snag it. Yeah.
You have a secondhand positivity rabbit.
Yeah.
This is very stupid, but I did think about that rabbit because, the players in the locker room were talking about, man, it's going to be a long flight home.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
And it's true. It's like you have to sit in a loss on a cross-country flight. That's not fun.
At least you have tailwinds, so it's a little shorter than
a little shorter
out.
Flight. But, they were leaving after the game. It's basically a red eye. They probably got home at like 6 a.m., maybe a little earlier than that. Do you think A.J. Dillon at 6 a.m. had to go into that locker room and deflate that rabbit and take it home? Or do you think someone does that for him?
That's a great question. I wouldn't be surprised if he drove right over to the Novacare, had that taken care of, and then drove home, got some sleep. A.J. Dillon.
It's rough. Next one from Joe. Hey guys, love the pod. You're the absolute best.
Thank you.
Not sure if anyone has brought this up, but the Chargers ran 46 plays and had the ball for 23-11 in the second half.
Yeah.
Do you really want to put them right back on the field in OT? Factoring in their drive in OT, they had the ball for 26-47 out of a possible 33-36 game minutes and ran 52 plays after halftime. I get the advantage of having the ball second in OT, but maybe analytics should have taken a back seat this time. That was an interesting email.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I didn't have any problem with how they played over time. I do think part of the issue with time of possession in the second half was that they didn't run the ball. Mm-hmm. And I do have my game book here. I think Saquon averaged 4-6 in the first half, 13 for 69, 5-3. So he averaged 5-3 in the first half, and then had 5 carries in the second half where the passing game was a disaster. And yeah, I think they did the Chargers a favor by not running the ball. And it's not even the yards. They were getting good yards, and he finished with, he was over 100, right? What do you have, 112? 122, and averaged 6.1 yards a carry. So
In the second half, you're saying?
in the game,
In the game,
yeah, because he had the 52-yarder
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter. So why aren't you running the ball more? Run some clock. Keep their defense on the field. Keep your defense off the field, and just try to get a semblance of, like, just get rid of the chaos of this game. And you can do that by running the ball. That's the beauty of running the ball is, it can calm a lot of things down. And he just didn't do it. Didn't even try. Tried one time and he goes for 50 yards.
I do want to address the actual decision in
Yes.
OT. I was still okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, if you were to ask the Eagles, like, hey, this is how it plays out, they're going to get a tiny little drive, have to attempt a 54-yard field goal. You get the ball back, knowing what you need. I think that's why you do it. Like, I liked that email because it was something I hadn't heard brought up too much. Because sometimes I do think that, sometimes the analytics don't always factor in everything.
Human element.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Like, but I like that question because of that. But ultimately, I think it was the right decision. And I think even the way the script played out, I think they would still tell you it was the right decision.
One thing I do think is overtime is too short. I just don't think 10 minutes is enough time to strategically do what you want to do. I don't know. And here's another question. We were talking about this after post game. Say they fumble. Say after the interception at the end of overtime, if he fumbles and the Eagles recover, does overtime continue? Or say they go and score, they recover the fumble and score. So does the game end when the play ends, or is the possession over when he intercepts it? Is it still alive? It's still a live ball. The play's not over. And I don't know the answer. I suspect that overtime's not over until the whistle's blown on the final play.
I would think that. Yeah, I would think if he tried to return it and fumbled.
Yeah. But
it would be a different. That's interesting
because when the possession's over, the game's over.
I would think they would get to play that play out. And it's funny because I was about to be like, that would never happen, and it happened in that game. There were two turns. Yeah,
it did. It's just something that, I just didn't know the rule, and I don't know where to look that up. I'm sure someone knows that. I'm guessing that the game's not over until the play is over.
That would be my guess. Maybe I'll look into that. Try to find out. Okay. We have some bad ones here. Let's
read those.
Not bad ones.
Here's
just
a bad one. It's
we have
Bob
not bad
in Exton.
Not bad. Just like a lot of the same stuff. This one's from Peter. Been listening to you guys for a couple years and want to say thank you for your knowledge, easygoing and fun approach. I live in New Hampshire and enjoy all the Eagles news I get. Dave, have you ever been to the White Mountains, up to Mount Washington, rode the Cog? I don't know what that last one means.
Cog Railway is it's you know what a Cog Railway is?
No.
It's a railway that, and I don't know the technology. It's really cool. I've been on the Cog Railway up Mount Washington. It's set up so it can't go backwards, so it's able to go up steep inclines up a mountain. There's some sort of system of cogs that prevents it from slipping and going backwards. I don't know the technology. It's really interesting, but I spent a summer in the White Mountains.
Okay.
And I worked at a resort near North Conway. It was great. And, so we would have, I think I was off Fridays and Saturdays, and we would go hiking up in Mount Shakoroa. We were right near Mount Shakoroa, which I hiked a few times that summer. Beautiful, beautiful mountain. It's a great part of the country, the White Mountains.
Yeah, I have not spent much time there or at all. So.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
We'll have to go there next bye week. We'll go hiking.
Now, on to my take on the Birds' offensive struggles. As much as I want to point to play calling or penalties or lack of effort at times, I have to look at Jalen. I believe he's a semi-limited mid-tier 2 quarterback who shows brilliance to tier 1 a few times a year or even stretches for 5 to 6 games like Super Bowl runs, but then he also falters to tier 3 and even tier 4 for stretches. This is who he is and the reason the offense is so bad right now. Am I wrong? He is just not seeing the field, holds onto the ball too long, and without his signature runs, that is all recipe for disaster. His accepting of responsibility is tiresome when there's no change on the field.
I think the specific criticisms are spot on. I think he is holding on to the ball too long.
He's certainly not seeing the field well at times.
He's not seeing the field well. And again, not defending him, but I think those are products of not feeling comfortable in the offense, not feeling comfortable with the plays and the play caller. It's not absolving him of blame. I just think that's the situation. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are tier one all the time. There's, I mean, gosh, you name, whether it's Jared Goff or Matt Stafford, you see these guys have bad games. Everybody.
You went Jared Goff first.
What's that?
You went Jared Goff.
I don't know. I mean, Pat Mahomes. We talked about
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
The first name that popped in.
I don't know. I mean, just because he's considered one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. I think you need a lot of things to be going your way to be an elite quarterback all year. And we've seen Jalen have those stretches. But yeah, I mean, the fact that it's now 4 or 5 games that he hasn't been very good it's alarming. And I'm not under any illusions that he's gonna be able to turn it around magically starting with the Raiders game. I think they'll win. I'm not even that sure. But I still think if he had the right play caller, the right coordinator, the O-line was healthy, although O-line has played better. There's no doubt in my mind he can be that Pro Bowl caliber quarterback again. No doubt.
Yeah. Look, I think that.
But again, I'm not defending him. I mean, he's playing awful.
He's playing awful. He played well earlier in the year. He has it in him. I do agree with the notion that he's been inconsistent for sure. And he's got to play better. Yeah, I don't think he's like an elite quarterback. I think that's fair. Like we always have the fun lists like in the offseason. Where does he rank?
Yeah.
And he's a really tough quarterback to rank for a lot of reasons. But like, yeah, I don't think he's one of.
Chris Sims is going to have him like 50th going into next year. I mean, I had him 10th going into this year. He wouldn't be in my top 10 now. That's for sure.
Yeah. But like he's a tough quarterback to figure out like where he belongs. Yeah. And he always has been, probably always will be.
Yeah.
But when things are going well in the offense, I think he can run it efficiently.
I mean, he had a pass rating of like 114 coming out of the bye week. So, yeah.
Next one is from Humam. I actually came away with some encouragement from the Eagles-Chargers game, which some fans might not want to hear. Yes, the Hurts turnovers cost us that game, but I actually thought he did some really good things. Delivering to Smith on 3rd and long and OT. Balls to AJ that he doesn't throw earlier in the season. I thought the Eagles were much more aggressive in their play calling and broke away from their conservative trend. This is Hurts' worst game of his career, but I'm surprisingly encouraged by the offense going forward as long as they throw out the rabbit and limit turnovers.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd feel super optimistic, but there were some good plays. Mm-hmm. There were some, I mean, Jalen did make some throws that were eye-opening.
It is, I always think about this, like throughout the course of a game, there are a couple of plays that could go either way that end up shaping the way we think about that game and think about players.
Yeah.
And the one in this game for me is that throw to AJ in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like if AJ catches that ball, we're going, man, Jalen's clutch. He had an awful game when they need him most. He comes through, has a great drive. They win the football game and hostile. Like it's just crazy. Like if AJ makes that one catch, everything is different.
Peek behind the curtain. I'm doing my 10 observations during the game, and as they were driving down in overtime, I started writing about his resilience and how he's able to overcome 3 interceptions at the time and make some big throws and make some big plays in overtime and kind of shake it off. And then obviously that ended up on the cutting room floor, as they say. But you're right. And I haven't had a chance to watch a replay. Did you get a chance to watch that play a couple times? Mm-hmm. I mean, was his right hand hooked? Was he?
Yeah, but it's like, he didn't have full use. Like he was getting held like a little bit, but it's a play we've seen him make.
Yeah.
It's a play that if you're the best receiver in football, you got to make that play.
Was the effort not there, did you think? Or was it just him just not making the play?
Look, I know that like effort is something with AJ that always comes up. I think the effort was there. I think he just didn't make the play.
Okay.
And now I think there's sometimes that, like in that game there were, where there maybe a lack of focus led to some, I don't know. And I tried to ask him that about like some of the misses, and there were really 3 misses from AJ, right? It was that early one on the deep pass. There was the one where it bounced off his hands for the interception. And then it was the one in the end zone. And I asked like, were there any common themes in those, whether, could it be focus? Could it be, I don't know, whatever it was. I don't think there were. I think he just didn't make the play. And He's got to make those plays.
Yeah. You wrote about AJ, and I thought he was terrific after the game.
He was emotional.
He was.
He looked like he was like, this is as hard as I've seen him take a loss.
Yeah, same.
Well, that he's talked to us after. I guess I can't really speak to the ones where he ducked reporters, but
yeah, and that was mainly when he has like 1 for 9.
that was more frustration.
Yeah.
Like this was like he was upset that he lost this game because he had some chances.
Yeah, and he had 100 yards. He made some big catches.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to have a 100-yard game and be like, that wasn't a good game.
And it wasn't. But yeah, take a look on our website at Dave's story. AJ was pretty brutally honest about his performance.
From Andrew, Dave and Rube, I'm as down as anyone on the Eagles as they continue to look terrible, but one person I can't justify blaming for Monday night's loss is Jake Elliott. Yes, he missed that field goal at the end of the first half, but that entire sequence was a mess. They were totally unprepared following Adoree Jackson's interception. Jake actually ran onto the field and started this process before Nick pulled him off the field as Jalen was scrambling to find his helmet. It was ugly and maybe a microcosm of what's going on. Am I wrong here? Thanks. I never miss an episode.
Yeah, that was a bad sequence, but
it was a bad sequence. It was like,
but I mean, the snap was good, the hold was good.
Yeah, he's still got to make the kick.
Yeah, you can't miss a 48-yarder indoors in that kind of game. It's going to be a 1-possession game, and yeah, it wasn't a good sequence though.
Not to absolve Jake, but like, what was that?
Yeah,
like that was really weird. And Nick Sirianni prides himself on situational football. We're ready for any situation. We go through this stuff during the week. Well, that wasn't great.
Was he asked about that?
I don't know. I didn't get to Nick. I was running out of the stadium trying to make my flight. I actually did. I ran into Nick as I was kind of getting out of he was leaving his press conference and I was running to the airport. He said, anything you need me to answer? And I was like, no, no, I gotta go. But I didn't know what was asked in the press conference, so I couldn't ask him another question.
Interesting.
But I appreciate him being willing to stop. We'll finish here with John.
That's Jay Wright stuff. Jay Wright, when you covered a Villanova game, like he would do a press conference, and then he would talk to like the beat writers in the hallway, and then he would find every guy individually, say, "You need anything else from me?
Yeah,
anything I can answer?"
Yeah, I appreciated it from Nick because like he probably doesn't want to keep talking after a loss like that.
Nick likes you.
Does he?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. From John, still look forward to you guys even when the Eagles are fumbling away the season. The disparity between defense and offense on this team really brings back memories of the Buddy Ryan era in Philadelphia, which makes me think it's good that Vic is in the booth when I recall Buddy punching Kevin Gilbride when he was a DC in Houston. For my question, how would you compare this year's Eagles to some of Buddy's teams?
And we were, if you remember, the Eagles played the 49ers that weekend. They had a Monday night game, and we were all at a restaurant. There was like 20 beat writers at a restaurant in Sausalito. And we get back to our cars, and I remember I was in a car with your former professor, Phil Anastasia, and a bunch of other writers, and we put on the radio to find a football game, and the first thing we hear is, and Buddy Ryan and Kevin Gilbride had to be separated after Buddy punched Kevin. I was like, yeah, that's the Buddy we know. But yeah, I mean, the similarities are certainly there. More so 91 when Buddy was gone by then, but the greatest defense ever, maybe the worst offense ever. But this isn't quite that extreme on either side.
Not yet.
Not yet.
If you have a question for us, eagleeye@nbcuni.com. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast, please do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, click the like button, subscribe there as well. Thank you for all the Spotify Wrapped notifications you've been sending us, and I think some of you have seen our video on there, so we appreciate the love on that. Rube, any final thoughts?
Wondering if anybody has topped my friend's minute total. I think 7,665. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Okay. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye, presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.